Hi. So this video, I'm going to be talking about lean and green meals. So if you are on the 5-in-1 plan, you're going to be having 5 fuelings plus 1 lean and green meal. If you're on the 4-in-2 plan, you're going to have 4 fuelings and 2 lean and green meals. And if you're on the 3-in-3, then you're going to have 3 lean and green meals and 3 snacks. Now, if your program is a little different, please ask your coach onto what exactly are you eating for your lean and green meal and how many meals per day. So I'm going to be explaining the lean and green meal that you're eating. All right, let's get started. So I am going to share the guidebook on the screen so everybody can follow. If you have received a guidebook in your shipment, please refer to pages 15 through 22. That's what we're going to go over right now. All right, let's get started. So let me share my screen. Here we go. Alrighty, so this is page 15 of the guidebook. You have an option of eating a leanest protein item, leaner protein item, or lean protein. All right, so 3 different options for your protein. Every time you have your lean and green meal, your protein has to be present. If you do not eat your protein and just eat vegetables, that is not going to give you your results. So make sure you eat these proteins. All right, so what options do you have? So under the leanest category, you will see 7 ounces of protein plus 2 servings of healthy fats. All right, so 7 ounces of protein means after you cook the protein, you're going to put it on a food scale. You're going to zero the food scale and then put the item on the food scale, and it should read 7 ounces. If you are measuring in grams, there's always a way to change it, the unit to ounces. But if you cannot, 1 ounce is about 30 grams. All right. So the options on this category are fish. You can have cod, flounder, haddock, orange gruffy, grouper, tilapia, mahi-mahi, tuna, wild catfish. All right. If so, a lot of people do eat tilapia or mahi-mahi. You can use 7 ounces. Okay. Under shellfish, I'll just go over the most common ones. A lot of people will like shrimp, so you can have 7 ounces again for that. Turkey, if you're eating ground turkey or any ground chicken either, if it's more than 98% lean, you can have 7 ounces. All right. And then we have meatless options for my vegetarian folks. Okay, we have not forgotten about you. We have options of 14 egg whites. I know that sounds ridiculous and almost unachievable, but if you use the liquid carton and you take 2 cups of egg whites, that's about 14 egg whites. And it tells you on the carton as well how many cups you need to take. Once you make it, it's not bad. All right. So that's about 2 cups of liquid egg substitutes or liquid egg whites. 5 ounces of seitan. I don't know what that is. So if you know what that is and you want to eat that, you can totally use it. 12 ounces, 1.5 cup of 1% cottage cheese, and 12 ounces non-fat 0% plain Greek yogurt, which has less than 15 grams of carbs per 12 ounces. Alrighty, so that are your options under the leanest. Now you are going to add 2 servings of healthy fat with this, and I'm going to go over the healthy fats in just a second. All right, next option is leaner. A lot of people eat from the leaner category. Their breakfast, lunch, dinner, if they're eating 3 meals. If you're just eating lunch or dinner, you can have, whatever you want, either lunch or dinner. But this is the most common one that people choose. So I'm going to go over it in a little more detail. Okay. So if you choose any protein from this category, you are going to have 6 ounces of cooked protein with 1 serving of healthy fat. All right. So on this, we have some fish. There's chicken breast or white meat without skin, which is the most common, right? A lot of people will go for chicken tikka, chicken breast, or something around that area, right? So you can have that. Ground turkey or other meats. So again, turkey is another very good option. If your packet says 95 to 97% lean, you can have 6 ounces of cooked protein. All right. There's some pork. There's meatless options. So if you are aiming for breakfast, you can have 2 whole eggs plus 4 egg whites, right? Much more doable, right? Even for my vegetarian folks, much more doable to do 2 whole eggs plus 4 egg whites. And these can be either an omelet, boiled, whatever you want, okay? There's no restriction. The only restriction is do not put too much oil and fry them. All right, makes sense, right? 2 whole eggs plus 1 cup of liquid egg substitutes. So if you're using a carton, you can use 1 cup. 12 ounces of 2% cottage cheese or 12 ounces of low-fat 2% plain Greek yogurt. So you can use any one option from this. All right. A lot of people will use, either if they want to eat breakfast, they'll go for the eggs, and then their lunch and dinner is usually chicken breast. So this particular option, I would say most people use, and please pay attention to this and make sure you have this page printed or the guidebook in front of you when you're preparing your meals. All right, last option is lean category, and you have 5 ounces of cooked protein with 0 servings of healthy fats. And that's because this particular section, already the meat has a lot of healthy fat in it. All right, so the options we have are salmon. I know salmon is also very popular. Then beef, steak, ground or roast. So that's also very popular. Lamb, if you wanted to have some kebabs, lamb kebabs, you can use that. Ground turkey or other meats, which are like 85 to 94% lean. Chicken or turkey dark meat. So if you're trying to eat the thigh or drumsticks, make sure you have 5 ounces. And the way to measure that is obviously you have to take the bone out and then measure it. Okay, and then meatless options, we have 15 ounces of Morino extra firm or firm tofu, 3 whole eggs up to 2 times per week. So if you are eating only whole eggs for your meal for the day, just make sure you're not going more than 2 times a week, because that definitely has too much cholesterol and you don't want to cause any other issues. All right, 4 ounces of 1 cup shredded reduced fat or part skim cheese. So if you're like, hey, I love cheese with my chicken, or I love cheese with my eggs, you can totally do that. But you have to kind of divide it and make sure you're still in the exact number. For example, if I want to use 1 ounce of cheese, right? And I want to use, for example, ground beef, right? Then I have to make sure 1 ounce of cheese that I'm using is about 25% of the 4 ounce that's allowed, right? So now I'm left with 75% of some other meat. So then if I'm using any other meat, I'm going to have 75% of 5 ounces. All right, so there's some math involved. You have to be smart. So make sure when you're mix and matching, just make sure you check with your coach what you're doing. All right. Don't make a mistake and overeat or undereat. All right. And there's also options for ricotta cheese or tempeh. All righty. There is a whole list of healthy fats coming up, but I'm going to go over the greens first, okay, which is the very next page, page 16. You are going to have 3 servings of vegetables from the green options. 1 serving is half a cup of vegetables unless otherwise specified. So for example, 1 cup of lettuce, half a cup of broccoli, and half a cup of mushrooms. So I'll tell you, 1 cup is because all the greens like lettuce, mustard greens, spinach, spring mix, they're all in the lower carbohydrate category. So you can have 1 cup as 1 serving. All right. And the other vegetables like cucumbers, even sprouts are allowed. If you wanted to eat mung bean sprouts, you can totally do that. There are a lot of different options here: asparagus, cabbage, cauliflower, eggplant, spinach, broccoli, cabbage, peppers. If you wanted to put some bell peppers in your salad or your meat, you can totally do that. Tomatoes. So these are going to be half a cup. If you can see half a cup on the side, right? So your total will be 1 cup of lettuce from here, just an example, half a cup of broccoli, half a cup of mushrooms, right? If you're wanting to eat just 1 item, right? You're like, hey, Shabnam, I just want to eat spinach. Okay, I want to make like a spinach salad or something for myself. So you are going to take a total of 1.5 cup of spinach. All right, you see, It says spinach cooked, half a cup. So you're going to have total of 3 servings. Make it 1.5 cup of spinach. All right. And you can make sure you eat that for your green for the day, right? Same with like cabbage or cauliflower. If you wanted to make a little bhaji with it, with just very little oil and cook that, you can totally do that, okay? A lot of people also use mung sprouts and make them into a chilla. So you can grind it, make it into a paste, put some salt, pepper, and like put it on the pan like a dosa, and it becomes like almost, it tastes just like a roti, and it actually counts towards your greens. So you can totally do that. You see how it says sprouts, alfalfa, or mung beans? You can use that. All right. All right. There are a few vegetables that we don't eat, and they are here. We eliminate the highest carbohydrate vegetables such as carrots, corns, peas, potatoes, onions, edamames, and Brussels sprouts to enhance your results. All right. So remember that carrots, corns, peas, potatoes, onions, edamames, and Brussels sprouts. We do not eat that. You have to avoid it at all cost. All righty. Next, we are going to go over extras. So these are optional snacks, which means you can have them if you're like super hungry and starving. All right. So there is OPTAVIA puff snacks or popcorn. If you've ordered that, you can use that. If you have not ordered that, you can have some skinny popcorn. Okay, 1 cup skinny popcorn is a substitute for this. 3 celery stalks, 1 fruit-flavored sugar-free popsicle, half a cup of sugar-free Jell-O, 3 pieces of sugar-free gum or mints, 2 dill pickles, half an ounce of nuts like almonds, walnuts, and pistachios. But be mindful, nuts, I don't want you to choose very frequently. Keep it to maybe 2 times a week, okay? Because they are high in calories. Alrighty. We also have some flavors of home, which is like basically your lean and green meals ready for you on the website, and you can order that next time. There are some condiments that you are allowed to eat, and I'm going to go over that as well. Alrighty. There is a dining out guide as well that we have, and it will be here linked, so you can click that and look up. So if you are planning to go out to Olive Gardens, for example, or Zaxby's, you have an option on like what you can eat and what you can order. So it'll tell you exactly what you can do. All right. Always remember, you're still avoiding carrots, corns, peas, potatoes, any beans, lentils. We're not eating any of those. No dal, no black beans, no kidney beans, none of those. Okay. All righty. Then we are going to go over the healthy fat, which is on page 20. So remember how we said on the leanest, we can have 2 healthy fats. On the leaner, we can have 1, and on the lean, 0. So these are the healthy fats you can have. All right, so I'll tell you avocado is most common, 1.5 ounces. So again, that's about half of a medium avocado. You will put it on a food scale and make sure you're eating that much. I don't want you to just eyeball. I want you to measure everything that you put in your mouth. All right. Guacamole, 2 tablespoons. All right. If you are a fan of almond milk or cashew milk, you can have 2 cups every single day, but it will count towards your healthy fats. Okay. If you like olives in your salad, you can definitely use them. It'll count towards your healthy fat. Oils, if you use oil to cook your chicken or your fish or your shrimp, whatever, you are going to use 1 teaspoon and it'll count towards your healthy fat. So like you remember chicken, you can have 1 healthy fat. So if you used oil, you're done. Your healthy fat is done. So what I usually suggest is use an oil spray, use an air fryer, grill it, do it in a way that you're saving your healthy fat so you can have something else like an avocado or some nuts. Okay. So you also have the option of nuts, some seeds, mayonnaise, more nuts, more oils, more seeds, butter, some milk, salad dressings. Any kind of salad dressing is allowed. But please remember, like you are allowed 1 tablespoon of salad dressing. And if you're using any kind of light or like sugar-free option, you can have 2 tablespoons. And you can look through this. It has all the different varieties that you can have. Look through what you have and make sure you have one of these. Okay. And then finally the condiments. Okay. So what masalas am I going to put in my chicken? Like what is allowed? So a rule of thumb is to make sure you are eating 3 condiments per day. Okay, it's optional, right? Some people don't like to put a lot of masalas. Some people like to put a lot of different masalas and make sure it's nice and spicy, right? So if it is a dry masala, if it's for example, turmeric, chili powder, cumin powder, salt, pepper, that's fine. You can use as much dry herbs as you want. It's not going to make you gain weight. But if you're using any wet ingredients like ginger garlic paste, yogurt, ketchup, soy sauce, make sure you count that. It has to be maximum of 3 per day. Okay. So like, for example, if I'm making chicken tandoori, okay, I am putting salt, pepper, tandoori masala, chili powder, paprika, cumin powder, coriander powder, garam masala, ginger garlic paste, yogurt, lemon juice. So I need to remember my yogurt, my ginger garlic paste, and my lemon juice. These 3 are my wet ingredients, and I need to make sure I don't go overboard with the wet ingredients, okay? The dry ones, you can totally use them. So this does give you a list of the dry herbs too, but I will say don't even worry about the dry herbs. Just go for these sauces, syrups, dairy. If you're using any of those, make sure you check how much you can use. Like for example, this one says soy sauce, 1 tablespoon, sriracha, 1 teaspoon. So please make sure from this list, even yogurt, if you're using to cook 2 tablespoons. So you make sure you use that. Even like these flavor enhancers like calorie-free sweetener, stevia or monk fruit sweetener, if you put in your coffee or tea, that's totally fine. You don't need to count that because the calorie content is less than 5. So you can totally use that. But if you're using anything else um, like half and half in your coffee or tea, or like milk, then you want to make sure you check in how much you can have, okay? Alrighty, so that's basically it. The next pages is kind of like a little journal on what, if you want to write down what you've had for the day and how much you've had and how much water you've had, you can use that. You can also use the app to track all of your fuelings and your lean and green meals if you want. I would highly recommend you have a timer. Okay, so do not go more than 3 hours without eating. Like it's very, very important that you space it only maximum of 3 hours. Okay, water intake, regardless of the plan you have, has to be 80 to 100 ounces every single day. All right. If you are a fan of Gatorade or like some kind of sugar, some kind of juice, you can have the sugar-free juices or sugar-free sodas or sugar-free Gatorade. You can have those. Keep it 1 or 2 max per day. Okay. Even tea, coffee, max 2 per day. No more than that. You don't want to get kicked out of fat burn. The last thing I want to say is we have a healthy huddle for all clients, regardless of the plan they are on, every Sunday at 8 p.m. So I highly recommend you to join that. Okay. So usually after Jamaat Khana time, just hop on the Zoom call. I will send the link. It's very informative, very good, and it's free for all clients. So there's just amazing information just given to you. So make sure you take advantage of that. All right. I will be in touch with you guys. I will be checking on you, making sure your progress is pretty good throughout the whole month that you're on the program. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to text me. Thank you. Bye. Yalmadat.